Hi, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Everyone's saying that the title is funny, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And I look a mess today. I really do. I look a mess today, but we're here. Let me turn this light down some. It's bright. It's too bright. Okay. That's a little bit better. All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good old stuff. And then everything I have is in the link tree in my bio in the description for the Patreon, the spiritual channel. Excuse me, the womanizer self-care or self-pleasure toys, and then also for skincare as well. You're gonna find all that over in there in the description on the link tree. Okay. Let's go on ahead and like get right into it. Okay. I don't talk a whole lot, or I don't think I've really made that many live streams recently about being like child free or really talking about children. I know it could be a sensitive subject, but it is something that I want to talk about more. So get used to it, but also the number one reason why I'm deciding to talk about this is because of like the whole situation with Pusha T. If you guys don't know who Pusha T is, he is half of the rap duo Clips. They were a group that were like pretty popular in like the early like 2000s, early to mid 2000s. And like Pusha T is the one that had like the beef with like Drake or whatever, and he was coming after Drake because like Drake had a child and nobody knew and stuff like that. So I find that it's like really funny that like he was airing out Drake's business just for him to like pretty much be a present deadbeat, which is like kind of funny to me. It's like it was given pot calling the kettle black. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna read this article to you guys. It's a super short article. So y'all don't have to listen to me read forever. But the article says Pusha T responds to deadbeat backlash for his parenting comments. It says when Pusha T's wife, Virginia, announced she's expecting, he thanked her for taking over diaper duty and other fatherly responsibilities. And essentially it says for those unaware, Virginia MC and his wife Virginia Williams are expecting their second child. In his post on the matter, he irked many fans by seemingly joking, and I feel like anything that men do when it's deemed as disrespectful, even the author of this article is trying to pass it off like it's a joke. Like men can make jokes about R-wording women, abusing women, hitting women, talking to children, doing like grotesque things with children, and like it always gets to get written off as joking. So I thought that it was very important to add that the author of this article added that he was seemingly joking about neglecting daddy issues. And on Instagram, he wrote, this is what Pusha T wrote. He wrote, "Thank you for my second baby boy. I hope you carry on with tradition and never teach me how to change a diaper, prep a meal, suck out a snotty nose, or anything else a super mom does. You make things very easy for me, and I love and appreciate you for it all. See you spring 2026, my boy." The article continues saying, now he has responded to the ensuing drama on Twitter. The Thornton brother left a slew of crying, laughing face emojis under the tweet. Ninjas is calling Pusha T a deadbeat because he doesn't like changing diapers. That included a clip of Christoph Waltz's character in Inglorious Bastards laughing uncontrollably. It says many fans responded to this response with nonetheless critical perspectives, whether it was folks taking this seriously or Drake fans going at him for many reasons. Um, and so yeah, so that happened like a couple days ago. That happened a couple of days ago. But yeah, I kind of feel as though that tells you everything it is that you need to know in regards to how men view like motherhood, and essentially men just look at it like, that's all you, that's all you. And so when women say things like, oh, marry before you carry, I get quiet. Like, I legit get quiet when they say marry before you carry, because he's married and he feels as though he should be absolved from all responsibilities when it comes to taking care of his own child. And I mean, these men are being like more and more open about these things. You know what I mean? About how they're not going to change diapers, they're not going to prepare a meal, they're not going to fix a bottle for their baby, they're not going to wake up in the middle of the night. As a woman, like, even when you're married, a ring and vows is not going to make a man want to take care of a child when society does not tell men that that's what they're supposed to be doing. Okay. Men will tell you all day long that, like, oh, yeah, like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to help you take care of the child and yada, yada, yada. Marriage isn't going to make them wake up one day and decide, like, oh, that's my child, I'm just going to automatically start taking care of my child. And like, I believe that all rules and all laws are based on human nature. If men enjoy taking care of their children, there wouldn't be a such thing as fucking child support. Like, I'm sorry, like, the government knew that men were not natural caretakers, and the government realized that they could make money off of that. Just like how men are violent, they understand that men are so violent, and that men have to actually have a set of rules to follow in order for them to maintain order, that the government is able to profit off of the violence of men. That's the reason why they have the jail system. They also know that intellectually men are really not all there. That's the reason why they have a pipeline from, like, your intellectual ability with the pipeline of going to jail, because men like those tend to be like it. Your level of intellect is usually going to be rooted in your socioeconomic standing. Most kids that grow up in poverty don't have a high intellect, and then usually they have jails that are in those same areas where it's impoverished, because they create a purposeful pipeline from you being impoverished, you not having a high amount of education, and then you falling in the pipeline in jail. And we know that most incarcerated people are men. So they don't have child support for no reason. They have child support because the government and the powers that be saw a pattern, and they saw a pattern and they saw, I can make money off of this. So let's go on ahead and have these men be subjected to paying child support to make up for the fact that they're not going to be present for their children like the mother is going to be. Because their men don't do anything unless they get a reward for it. Men don't have a reward to take care of their child. Society is not going to shame a man for not being there, because it's normalized that men are not there. That's why they have child support. Oh, well, if you're not going to be there physically present, just pay money. Just pay money, and that will take away the fact that you're not there present. So men don't have the thing, the issue is that, like, women keep projecting what their life experience is onto men. Like, there's a low level of empathy that women have. I would go as far as to say, when you really think about it, women have no empathy for men in regards to the benefits that men have. You are able to have more empathy for men by understanding, because empathy doesn't mean that you only just think about the bad things that go. Empathy just means that you understand being in the other person's shoes. That means good or bad. You have to realize, as a woman, you need to put yourself in men's shoes in regards to the benefits that they have. Men aren't going to get shamed if they don't take care of their children. All they have to do is just have a picture of their family, even if they haven't even seen their children in 5 years, and show it to their boss. And then their boss is going to be like, oh, wow, your happy family. Like, they're most likely going to get a promotion just by having physical proof of the fact that they have a family. Even if there's no rule that men have to follow, that they have to prove that they're changing diapers, or that they're waking up in the middle of the night to like get their child that's crying, or to feed their child. There's no proof of that. Men don't get ridiculed for not stepping up to the plate. Like, Deadbeat dad, I mean, come on, deadbeat dad, it doesn't have anything like there's a such thing as mom guilt. There's no such thing as dad guilt. It's only mom guilt because the standard of a mother is that like you're supposed to do everything perfect and like the burden of the child. And I'm not trying to say that children are a burden, but children are a responsibility that can burden you. So the burden that women have to uphold by taking on most of the responsibilities with their children, you're going to have to be the one that's going to have to rise to the occasion. A man is never ever going to have to do that, and society isn't going to look at him different whether he does it or not. So I feel like that's like a very very important thing that a woman need that as women you have to understand, because I feel like there are women that are in certain levels of their decentering men journey, and I get it. There are women that want to have children. There are, but the issue is that you have to understand the reality that you're going to be facing if you decide that you want to have a child, and what that in most cases is going to look like for you. A ring is not going to save you. A ring is not going to save you if your husband decides that he doesn't want to take care of the children. Okay. If he doesn't want to take care of the children, he's not going to. And the thing about it is that you're not going to know this until he's in the position to be a father. And the thing about it is that as women, you'll have proof that the man is neglectful of his children. And then women will still sign up to be the second, third, fourth, fifth baby mama. If he's not taking care of all of the children that he had before you, he's not going to wake up one day and decide to start taking care of the child that you had just because you had the child. Like women really gotta come back down into reality and just pay attention to the evidence that is in front of them, instead of like trying to have their pride and ego tied to being trying to be the exception and like trying to get this special treatment out of men. It's not gonna fucking happen. It's not gonna fucking happen. And you're gonna waste a lot of time and energy and effort when you think that you're gonna be the exception, because at the end of the day, you whether you prove you're the exception or not, you're still going to have the burden, and you're still going to have a daily reminder of having that child and realizing that whether you want this responsibility or not, you got to keep this child alive. You got to keep this child alive, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So this is why when men are talking about, oh, they want a family, men know that motherhood is terrible. Men know that having children is terrible because they understand that, okay, it's terrible as I see it to be. I could just opt out. I mean, she's going to be the one that's going to be doing everything. This is the reason why when like a lot of men try to use the term we or us, or they say like, just trust me, they want to try to make it seem as if it's going to be a team effort. And so when they see that you have hesitation against doing things like that, such as having children, one of the first things they're going to, oh, well, we're pregnant. We're going to work together. We're going to make sure that our baby is safe and taken care of. They're going to tell you everything it is to make you feel comfortable, to either get you to have a baby that you don't want, get you to have a baby that you do want, but maybe they want to push you to do it a lot sooner than you would have wanted to, or to get you to have a child and like they want to get you to have a child and like, during like an unforeseen circumstance or something like that. And it's very, very important for you to understand those things. And so this is why like you have women like Ebony K. Williams. She's smart. Ebony K. Williams is extremely smart, beautiful woman too, but also very smart. And that's just for the simple fact and for the simple reason that, like, I believe she was engaged at some point. And the thing about it is that Ebony K. Williams divesting couldn't even convince her. That's how you know, because Black women, as someone that grew up around a ton of white boys, and I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, divesting wasn't even enough for her to look past male nature. If y'all want me to do a video about divesting and like where I stand with divesting, because I am anti-divestment, because the way I look at it, I've dated every single race of man. A man is a man is a man is a man. The only perks that men have is just based off of how society views them. And the thing about it is that the ones that have perceived perks, they're still average and they're still a man. So a lot of women that divest, you're just divesting with another shade of dusty. Like, if I'm just keeping it real, you divested to a different shade of dusty. Okay, that's really all it was. But Ebony K. Williams couldn't even, she was so mentally strong enough that she wasn't even able to fall for the okey doke of like divesting and having that be enough for her to get married and to have children. But she wanted to have children. So guess what? She had the child on her own. She did. She decided to have a child on her own. So this is why I tell women, like, if you're really, really adamant on having a child, you need to have enough money so that way you can get IVF, and you can go to the sperm bank and you could do it that way, or adopt. You're going to be doing most of the work whether there's a man there or not. That's the part that women don't want to, that's the part that women don't realize. You can be a single mom still and then still be married. All the man has to do is just live under the same roof as you. All he has to do is just live under the same roof as you. It you're going to be a single mom regardless. You're going to be a single mom and you're still going to have to do all of your wifely duties. So it's not going to make any difference. So when I say like motherhood is ghetto, it's the men admitting that it's ghetto, because the thing about it is that men do the things that they want to do and they avoid the things that they don't want to do. Okay? It's very, very simple. The things that they want to do, they're going to do it. The things that they genuinely like and that they enjoy, that's where they're going to put their attention to. Men don't have the ability to multitask. They don't have the ability to multitask. So where a man is where a man wants to be, because that's all that he could focus on at one time. That's all that he could focus on at one time. So when a man is really here saying like, thank you for having a child for me, and thank you for doing all of the things that I don't want to do, because I'm not changing diapers, I'm not getting up in the middle of the night, I'm not doing all that hoopla, I don't feel like doing that. So thank you so much for doing the shit that I don't want to do. And the thing about it is that, come on, no one wants to do that. Okay? Like even with a job, nobody wants to go to fucking work. Men will try to make it seem as if like, oh, we're so hardworking, and they don't want to go to work. Nobody wants to go to work. Nobody wants to have to invest time and energy in order to be making a living wage for their survival. I don't give a fuck how much you like your job. Nobody wants to do that. Okay. If everyone got the chance and opportunity to frolic and have their home and their car and not have to pay a single dime, I think that majority of people would say, cool, I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't have to pay. I don't have to work and I can have everything paid for. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're not going to go into the rabbit hole of like, social credit and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like, leaving it at that, I think most people would just go on ahead and take that and not go to work if they didn't have to for their own survival. So when it comes to the whole like, oh, like wanting to take care of children things, you have to do that every single day. And like the thing about it is that they give the gender roles, it's very intentional how they have the gender roles. They have the gender roles for, they will say, okay, men, you have to work like these laborious jobs and you have to like physically work these jobs, but you get to clock in and you get to clock out of your job. You can never clock out of motherhood, and motherhood has no set schedule. You don't know when your child's going to get sick. You don't know when your child's going to throw a tantrum. You don't know when your child is going to be highly emotional or highly reactive to something. That is a 24/7, 365 job. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Sovereign Woman. Yay. I'm glad that you were able to make it. I'm To everybody that was able to catch me live, I'm glad. It always makes me happy when I see like new faces in like the live stream and stuff like that. So welcome to everyone that like hasn't seen me live before and you're here. Welcome. But they have the gender role set for women that it has to be something that you have to do daily. You have to cook for your survival, so you have to do that every day, and you can't go that long without cleaning. Like you're I highly doubt for most people you're going to be able to go any longer than like 48 hours without cleaning something. Like in most cases, at least 48 hours minimum, you're going to have to clean something. So, in my opinion, they toss off all of like the really, really exhausting labor onto the women because I'm sorry, like, even if you're working the most laborious job ever, at least you get to clock in, at least you get to clock out, and at least you can call in sick, at least you can get PTO. No mother can do that, and men know that. They fucking know that. And another thing too is that, like, in my opinion, like having children, I just have always thought that like having children, like if I'm being honest, like I feel like men want women to get pregnant as like a form of revenge. If I'm just being completely honest, that's the reason why that's one of the reasons why I've always had like an aversion to wanting to get pregnant because the statistics are just the statistics tell you everything it is that need to be told when it comes to how men treat women when they're pregnant. Like the number one case of mortality in a pregnant woman is homicide by her partner. That should tell you how men look at you when you're pregnant. Like clearly they hate you when you're pregnant because that's the number one way that you're going to lose your life is at the hands of your partner. So in my opinion, like when they see the fact that you like made it out on the other side of motherhood, they'll just slowly kill you. They'll slowly kill you by just like not being present, making sure all of the burden is on you, adding even more of adding even more on your plate, competing with the child. Like I just kind of feel like if a man doesn't unalive you while you're pregnant, he's just going to slowly unalive you after you give birth. And then in my opinion, like when I see those women and like they're pregnant one after another, I'm like, in my opinion, that's abuse. I'm sorry. In my opinion, they know exactly what they're doing. And then also too, like they know like when women are like pregnant and when they have a ton of children, like when they say like, they want to slow you down when you're pregnant or they want to get you pregnant and they say that like they want to slow you down. Women that are tired are like easier to control. Okay. A tired woman, a woman that's exhausted is very easy to control. This is the reason why, like, if you ever go down the rabbit hole of reality TV shows, what they do to those contestants is that they barely feed the contestants. They barely feed the contestants. They get them very, very liquored up and they kind of like they do like intake questions with like traumatizing things and then they put the traumatizing thing like in the reality TV show in order to fuel like an emotion and like reactions out of them, and they make sure that they don't get a whole lot of sleep either. The reason being is because when people are tired, when you haven't been able to eat, when you haven't been able to drink or anything like that, you're a lot easier to control. It's a lot easier to get a reaction out of you. So when mothers are like putting themselves in these predicaments, you're getting no sleep because you have to wake up in the middle of the night. You're not able to take any time for yourself to be able to eat. It really does put you in a vulnerable predicament that like men will see as a vulnerability and like they will try to take advantage of that situation to be able to, control you and like, do not so nice things to you. Another thing too is that like having multiple children, okay? Like having multiple children, A very overwhelmed woman has less time to be able to leave, and like your level of like being overwhelmed is going to be a lot higher when you have multiple children. And then that's also going to tie you down financially. And then we don't live in a child centric world. So most mothers really don't have any support, and that's by design in order to give men more leverage. That way, women can't leave as easy. Because, I mean, just imagine if we actually did live in like a child centric world and women had like a decent amount of community of like other women, other mothers that they would be able to lean on and they would be able to rely on. I mean, of course, women would have to, women would not have to really think as long. They wouldn't have to really think as long about like having to get things together, you know what I mean, in regards to, can I leave? Am I going to be able to leave? Do I have the means to leave, et cetera, et cetera? They won't have to worry about all of that. So, I kind of think it's just one of those things where please don't have any children. Don't have any more children than you need to have that you would be able to raise alone. Um, I think another thing is that women think that like the life that you sign up for is going to be set in stone. It's just written in stone, and that's not true. So then you have women that have like 3 plus children and now they're in a really bad situation. And now you're at the point where it's like you have to think now financially, like, how is this going to make sense? How is this going to play out? Because I don't I don't have the financial means to take care of 3 children all on my own. Like, cuz that's a lot. I don't know how some women are able to take care of that many children. You know what I mean? Um at all. Um Another thing too, men know, this is how I look at it. If a man wouldn't willingly trade places with the labor that you're doing as a woman, men already know that you're getting a raw end of the deal, in my opinion. If a man looks at women and looks at women as mothers and he's over here saying, yeah, I wouldn't want to cook, I wouldn't want to clean, I wouldn't want to wake up and, get a crying baby, yada, yada, yada. That's how you know that you've been given a raw deal. Men don't ever agree or like sign up to like really reverse the roles very often. They want to go to work and they want to come home because they understand that's the easy thing, which is the reason why they want to shame you, because you can't win with them. You look at the proof of like how they baby mama people and they make these empty promises and say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna take care of you and the children and yada yada yada, and then they baby mama or they just like completely neglect their children. And then when you see proof of this repeatedly over and over and over, then they shame you for the fact that you don't want to sign up for that. So this is the reason why, like, as women, like, I'm always going to tell you, like, please, like, think for yourself and have your own brain based off of what it is that you want, because they're never going to be satisfied. Um, if a woman is not suffering 24/7, a man's never going to be satisfied. That's just that's just what it is. They want to see you suffering and they want you to be happy about suffering, okay? They literally want to see you leaking blood. They literally want to see you with a gaping open wound and they want to see you happy about it, okay? And we all know that like that's not possible. They wouldn't even sign up for that. But essentially that's what they want. So because a regular normal human being isn't going to do any of that shit, you're better off just doing whatever it is that you want to do, honestly. Because even if you say that you want to do something anyway to men and they agree with it, you have men that they want to conquer you and like they want to change your mind. They want to change your mind. So like you hear a lot of stories about how men and women will get together and they both will agree that they don't want any children, and then all of a sudden Like they got married and it's been like 2 years after they've been married, and all of a sudden the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I want to have a child. I want to have a child now." And it's like, um, excuse me? You want to have a child now? What are you talking about? Like we agreed on the fact that we didn't want to have any children, and now all of a sudden you want to have children. Where the fuck is this coming from? Yeah, because they want to see you in a state of like you just being miserable and you just not being happy. And so they're like, "No, I'm bored. You're enjoying life too much. Uh-uh. I need to see you constantly suffering." Okay? Um cuz yeah, they're not going to trade places with a woman. They're not. Like a lot of men, and the thing about it too is that once again, like the empathy level, women can have more empathy for men because women can actually say that they've lived the experiences as women or as men. They can actually say like, "Oh yeah, like I know, like there are women that work laborious jobs. Like there are women that are police officers, there are women that are construction workers and stuff like that." A man's never going to be able to tell you about how postpartum feels. They're never going to be able to tell you how a period feels. They're never going to be able to tell you about how motherhood feels. They're never going to be able to tell you those things. So they're never going to be able to have a source of empathy. People can only have empathy for you if they've been through it. Point blank, period. Most people. Most people can only have a sense of empathy for you if they've actually been through it themselves, especially a man. Men cannot draw empathy from a state of like thinking about how something would affect them, because that would take for them to go into their emotions, and they've been socialized to not do that. So they're never going to have a level of empathy. Like I would say a lot of men probably don't even think things like postpartum depression is real. So could you imagine like having a child with someone that you love and you're trying to express to them like, "Hey, like mentally, like I feel off, like emotionally, I feel off, like I just feel like not here," or even like there are some women that like they will admit the fact, like especially with postpartum, like they actually want to like unalive their baby or like do bad things to their baby, or they don't have like a maternal feeling for their baby. Imagine being with someone that you love and it's like you can't explain that to anyone. You can't tell that to anybody because it's like you're a mother, like you're supposed to love your child 24/7, and it's like, okay, but you also have to look at like there are a flood of hormones that a woman is like having during the whole entire pregnancy, and then after she like gives birth, like those hormones have just done a complete 180. Mentally it's gonna like it's gonna fuck with somebody. It just is. It's gonna mess with somebody. So there's not even a level of empathy that these men are gonna be able to have to you. They're gonna look at you like you're crazy, because it's like, no, like it actually is a real thing where there are women that like do, or they do have like that type of like thought process, right? Another thing too is I'm sorry, but being a mother ages you. Being a mother ages you. Um Like someone sent pictures of like ASAP Rocky and Rihanna, and then like I also seen pictures on Instagram, and I love Rihanna. I do. I love Rihanna, and like obviously she's getting older. So obviously she's going to age. I'm not saying that she needs to look how she did 15 years ago. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that in a very, very short span of time, she's aged the quickest than she's ever aged before. And the only common denominator in that is the fact that she's aged the most during motherhood. And me personally, I just don't think that that's a coincidence, because ASAP Rocky looks the exact same. He looks the exact fucking same, if not honestly better. Honestly, like ASAP Rocky, when I just saw some recent pictures of them together, he's glowing. Okay, he is glowing. These men know that you being a mother is going to suck the living life out of you. It is. It's going to suck the life out of you on top of your life already being sucked dry from having a man in your life. I'm sorry. I love Rihanna, but Rihanna looks exhausted. Okay. She looks tired. And I know the music industry was sucking her energy too. I know it was. That's why she clearly left. But them children, okay, her becoming a mother and her like going deep into this like whole like relationship motherhood thing, you could tell it's aged her drastically. Motherhood ages you because why wouldn't it? You have to keep a whole human alive under the scrutiny of other people. That and you have to work all while you're doing it. How would that not age somebody? How would that not age somebody? That's a high level of stress. Then once your children get old enough, you got to constantly be stressing about how society is going to look at them. Are they going to be in any harm? Constantly trying to protect them from harm, constantly trying to protect their feelings. That is a lot to think about. That's another reason for me. That's why I'm not having children. I already have a little bit of anxiety that I've been able to manage. Like I know exactly how to manage my anxiety. Having a child is like a whole nother level of anxiety that I don't want to try to learn how to manage. Because at the end of the day, I don't have control of the outside world. So no matter how good my parenting skills are, that's not going to protect my child from all of the dangers of the world. It's not going to protect my child from all of the influences of, the world. You know what I'm saying? And I genuinely don't think that Rihanna cares about aging, but what I'm saying is that having a child is stressful and a lot of women don't think that it is. If you saw a woman as wealthy as Rihanna aging when she has money and she has as much access to like nannies and people like that as she does, and even she's aging, because a lot of women think that being a mother is just like they think it's like taking out the trash. Like they don't think of it actually as work because no one's telling women that no, you're going to be working day in and day out. That's my point. I don't think it's so much as about caring. It's about waking women up to the reality of like what motherhood does to you because motherhood is a full-time job and men know that it's a full-time job. That's the reason why they're openly stating, you got it. I don't want to do any of that stuff. And I'm glad that you're going to be the one that's allowing and signing up to do it because I would never sign up to do this shit. I would never sign up to do all of this stuff. Like, no. So that's what my point is. It's not about caring, it's about the reality that no one is telling women when it comes to motherhood. Because people will tell you in a heartbeat, when are you having children? When are you having children? Okay, call those same people when you have a child and you need help. Call those same people when you come on, we already talking about it, but we're talking about churches out here. These churches are pro-life, they're pro-life and they don't even want to give formula when they're hearing a baby crying in the background. So that's what my point is. People will sit here and tell you all day long, oh, be a mother, and then you decide to be a mother, you decide to take their advice. And then once the realities of motherhood comes along with everything, these same people that told you to be a mother, they're not going to come help you. I don't want to be a wife because I want to be hot, lives rent free in my head. Yeah, because it's the truth. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I just feel as though there's a level of vanity that like I have that just wouldn't allow me to be a mother. And the thing about it is that these men weaponize that against you. Like, y'all, how many times have y'all heard a husband and a wife being together, wife gets pregnant, and then husband says, oh, you have your stomach looks like an oatmeal cream pie. They say that shit all the time. They say that shit all the time, how their stomach looks like an oatmeal cream pie, about how they have so much cellulite, your stomach is so jiggly, yada, 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 yada. They literally start shaming you. They literally start shaming you for undergoing a total life change that has literally changed your body. I mean, even Sierra admitted in an interview, she was like, "My body's not the same after giving children." I forgot who she was doing the interview with, but they were like, "But you're still so small." And she's like, "No." She's like, under clothes. She's like, "Yeah, I have like Spanx and I have like, the high-waisted jeans." And she's like, "That's the reason why it's helping me." But she was like, "My body and my stomach is not the same as it was after I had given birth." And me personally, I like the body that I live in now. I don't want it to change, okay? And I really had a hard time. I had a hard time dealing with how different my body looked before I put on my quote unquote like grown woman weight. And that was really just because I had binge eating disorder and I ate like a shit ton. But I don't want my body to change. I don't want my body to change at all. And so therefore I'm not doing any of that stuff. I like the body that I live in now, god damn it. I like the body that I live in now. and the thing about it is that you're not going to get society to move fast enough with this like whole commune thing. Like you have to you no one responds to anything done in a nice manner. So the thing about it is that like when people pose the idea of like child free isn't a long-term solution, yes it is. That's why you have so many countries with the declining birth rate, because by nature people do not give birth. People don't give birth in a condition that is not good for society. These are not conditions that you should be bringing a child into. It's incredibly selfish to do so. Incredibly selfish to do so. This is human nature's response to how nature is being created. no community of women, no community of women is going to change anything going on in nature. That's the reason why no one is having children, because in order for people to have children, everything surrounding us has to change. It just has to change. That's why no one's having children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. But we don't live in a child centric world. We live in a male centric world where so men get to have access to children and men get to have access to women. That's what the patriarchy created. They created a male centric society. And so now people are responding to this male centric society that was created because it's constantly been abused, it's been exploited, it's been taken advantage of. So people are just simply responding to the society that has been created. No, and the thing about it is that the current administration that we're in, they're trying to normalize this. Like they're trying to normalize this whole thing with like engaging with children, because the thing about it is that if they like make it normal that like you deal with children on the level that like they've been exposed to deal with children, it's just going to make the things that they're also doing not look so bad. Like there literally was a debate and there was a guy that like he didn't see anything wrong with like being a grown adult man and like dealing with children. He literally saw nothing wrong with that. He saw nothing wrong with that. And that's another thing too. The harsh reality is that men, and I've made a video about this before, but like, of course, men want women to have children. They want more vulnerable victims. They want more vulnerable victims to exploit. They want more children to go after. Like, that's a very, very harsh reality, but it's the truth. It is. It's the truth. If people stop having children, it's going to be harder for them to have other people that are vulnerable. And like, there are men that do this with their own children. Like, there are men that do this, it's under the same roof as them. A job with no days off ever. Yeah, and it's like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I like waking up in the morning, waking up when I want to, leaving the house when I want to, coming and going as I please. I don't want to have to think. I don't want to have to think about all of that stuff. Sugar daddy told me he wants kids with me. MFer has 2 kids he hardly sees. I charge him extra now. I would have pimp slapped him after saying that. I would have pimp slapped him and walked him like a dog after saying that. Like, why would you even say such a thing knowing that you have 2 children? Like, I would have been like, "Yeah, I'll have a child with you. Tell me both of your children's birthdays. Tell me all of their allergies, and tell me what clothes, tell me their all of their teachers' names, and then tell me what clothes size they are, and then I'll have your child." Like, imagine women that are, like, one of multiple baby mamas. Like, they probably didn't even ask the freaking man that they got pregnant by. They probably didn't even ask him those questions regarding their other children. Pimp slap is like a backhand slap. It's like a backhand slap. If you watch like any of like the black exploitation videos, like those videos from like the 70s and like the 80s, when they would slap the women like that, they would like backhand slap them. That's what I would have done. But yeah, women are signing up to be one of multiple baby mamas, and I bet you they never asked the man that they let knock them up any of those questions in regards to their children. What are their birthdays? What are their teachers' names? What are their clothes sizes? If a man can't do that, if a man cannot do that with the children that he has in existence, he's not going to do it with yours. Okay? He's not going to do it with yours. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. I don't really have anything to say about Nicki Minaj. I really don't. I don't have anything to say about Nicki Minaj. I don't know. Nicki Minaj is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I feel like you can't talk about Nicki Minaj and just talk about one thing. It's like 80,000 things with Nicki Minaj. It's so much. You got it with the baby. I'm not helping. Exactly. And her having to put everything on full stop in order to be able to take care of her child. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And men get so jealous that you have to be so sacrificial as a mother. They get very, very jealous of that. They get very, very jealous over the fact that now you have to focus on the child and not them. And it's like, sir, you can't even focus on 2 women at the same time. You barely know how to do that right, and you're expecting for You're expecting for a woman to be able to give you and a child, like literally a child, a baby that cannot survive on its own, the same level of attention and at most give you more attention than the baby. Sir, you can't even focus on having two bitches. Like, please make it make sense. Like, please make it make sense. Like, these are the same men that won't even sign up for a second job. These are the same men that don't even want to multitask and juggle two jobs, and they want you to juggle raising a whole child and prioritizing them. No. Show me how it's done, and then you could tell me how I should be doing it. Because that's crazy to me whenever I hear stories of that. I don't know. The thing about it is that me personally, it's really no shock to me that Nicki Minaj supports who she supports because people that are celebrities, average people, okay, civilians, they have a high level of like emotion that they vote with. So, like us, the common people, we have more of an emotional stance with our vote. People that in power, all they care about is just having power. So, all elites, all people in Hollywood, like they have a cult. I don't believe any of them. I don't believe that none of them, I believe I would say probably 95% of them support the current administration because they're all in cahoots with one another. They're all cool with one another. So like that information didn't surprise me because they don't have anything to benefit from. They don't have anything to benefit from. Like we literally saw Nelly perform at the inauguration for the current president. That should tell you everything it is that you need to know. If they're not in with the crowd, they don't care about tap dancing to get in with the crowd because they know what those people do and they know the high level of power that they assume. And also, Nicki Minaj isn't stupid either. She knows what those people will do to you if you don't agree with them. And Nicki Minaj already has like hella targets on her back. So it really wouldn't be in her best interest to say that she doesn't support that side because when you actually understand like what happens and the nefarious things, like she's already going after Mr. Sean Carter. And if you go down the rabbit hole with that, that has a lot of nefarious things behind it too in regards to him. So the thing about it is that everything that Nicki Minaj says and that she does, just like with just any other celebrity, it's 100% for like their own for their own benefit of like power to be able to keep it and also for their own form of like protection too. So as a normal like civilian, we can't I personally don't take what celebrities do like seriously because they're in a whole another different reality. They don't call it Hollyweird for no reason. Once you get a certain amount of wealth, your relatability to the regular civilian goes down dramatically. Your set of interests, your self-interest is completely different. Exactly. Mhm. Yeah. But I love Nikki though. I'm still a huge Nicki fan. I am. I'm still a huge, huge, huge Nicki fan. And I go down so many rabbit holes. Like I'm obsessed with all of that stuff with like Hollywood and yeah, like I've been watching video like people were so shocked about this stuff happening between the current president and Bill Clinton and I'm like y'all are surprised? Like I knew all that stuff already. I did. I knew all that stuff already because like I follow and like I blew the lid off of this stuff politically back in 2020 after the C-19 happened. I was like, something's up. I was like, the jig is up. And that's when I started digging real deep into things with politics, with Hollywood, stuff like that. Once again, I brought it up before, Nikki, the position that Nikki is in, Nikki had to get married to who she's married to. Once again, average regular civilians think that celebrities you think that celebrities are thinking the same way as you. You don't have the same interest as a celebrity. Nikki didn't marry somebody in the industry like people thought she would have because Nikki understood that if I marry someone that is in the industry, that's going to be a easier and quicker way for the people that would have plans to take me out. They would be able to get to me quicker. That's the reason why she married who she married. She's not married. She's not married to who she's married with for love. She's not married to who she's married with for caring about the opinion of other people. She doesn't care about the offense that he has. She doesn't care about anything. If anything, that's more beneficial to her. If anything, that's more beneficial to her because if you understand anything with like Sean Carter and like where all those like tweets and stuff were coming from, you'll understand why why she makes the decisions that she makes. Like if you absolutely understand how the level of like aversion that like Hollywood has had towards Nicki Minaj, you'll understand why she does what she does. That's why it doesn't make any sense. Exactly. I don't think nobody in Hollywood gets married for love in most cases. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't. Most people don't because once again, it's it's a high level of like it's a high level of interest. It is. It's a high level of interest that you have to have in order to like make certain decisions. It is. It's a high level. So, but once again, like I said, I don't I'm not a celebrity. You know what I mean? We're never going to know. We're never going to know what it's like. We're never going to know what it's like to deal with the implications. Like I said, once you know what they do in Hollywood and once you know what they do in the music industry, child, like once you know what they do, oh, it's crazy. It's insane. And they won't even let you talk about it. They won't even let you talk about it on these platforms. They won't. They refuse to let you talk about it on these platforms. They will shadow ban you so quick and like put all types of restrictions on your channel and like demonetize you. Like, yeah, it's insanity. But it's at your disposal. You can definitely look it up. No matter what, y'all would be pissed off of who Nicki Minaj chose anyway. Because Nicki Minaj is the queen. It's not going to be any man that's ever going to be good enough for her, which is why she has to get married to someone that could add to her interest because she's the queen. No man is ever going to match the queen. The queen is at the head of the table. And someone in my family was married to someone that was deep in the music industry. So that's also how I know and how I have insight. Yeah, honestly, I do wish Nikki was single and never had a child. I wish she was single and child free. I wish she was single and child free because I mean, she accomplished most of everything that she accomplished before she had children and like got married anyway. Like her peak and pinnacle was way, way, way before that. It wasn't like that's why I said like she achieved so much that like her getting married and things like that, it wouldn't have even helped her with like PR. It wouldn't have even helped her with PR, like, in my opinion, like, it's not like a Taylor Swift situation. Taylor Swift has no, purpose. Taylor Swift has had no choice really but to, get married, or she's engaged technically, but Taylor Swift had no she had no choice but to, because her whole career has been based on, based on that. Child, I don't know. I don't freaking know. All I know is that you wanna know who's not becoming a mother? Me. Motherhood is a form of exploitation, I'm sorry. It's a form of exploitation. You don't get any paid leave, you don't get any universal childcare, your expectations of you are through the freaking roof. Um, and even when you say that you don't want a child, you're still gonna have people gaslight you. You're still gonna have people fucking gaslight you. No, thank you. No, thank you. When people are like, "Ooh." Yeah, that's what I say, but people get mad when you say that. People get mad. I know some people got mad at me before when I said that, but it's the truth. But yeah, I'm not gonna would you be a mom if you could grow your child in a pod so your body doesn't have to go through all that? Girl, like how they do in the Matrix, that's what they're trying to plan for. Remember when Neo, they showed him the little they showed him the Matrix. They showed him the little incubators, the water incubators that all the babies were in. That's what they're trying to do to us. They're trying to accrue that. That's what they did. I mean, that's what they essentially did to that woman in Georgia. That lady was really comatose and they had her grow a whole entire baby, and she was actually very early in her pregnancy, and then her body was literally dying from the inside out, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we have to save the baby." Like, mm-mm. No, like I said, society sucks. Should no baby be brought up in here. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is why I don't understand why women are having children, especially black women. Especially black women. Especially if you're a black woman and you live in a red state. Have y'all seen the videos? One of the women, she got turned away at the hospital that I did clinical at Franciscan in fucking Crown Point. Black woman, and she had to give birth on the side of the road in a truck. And I was a student there. That hospital was racist as hell. Can you still be friends with a struggling mother? I'm having a hard time being supportive. You can't pour from an empty cup. The harsh reality is that we live in a world, like, this is why when people are like calling out narcissism, we live in a world ruled by narcissists. In The only way that you're going to be able to thrive in a world like this is you have to have a level of narcissism. The world, unfortunately, doesn't care about what you're going through. That's just the harsh reality. No one cares because we're all going through something. You have to have a level of boundaries within yourself to ask yourself what you can and cannot handle. If you can only be supportive from a distance, you're going to have to be supportive from a distance. So, whether that looks like a phone call, a FaceTime, a supportive text, a Cash App, if you know that she's financially like struggling or something, that's all you can do. You know what I mean? But if you're having a hard time, if you're having a hard time being supportive, well, it's only so much you could do. If she did drugs, that's crazy. This guy I'm talking to is like, he hopes if he ain't helping me with something he doesn't approve of, living with animals, that I will have a family with him. He sometimes sounds like he hates them. Oh, child, I would get rid of that guy. That guy sounds a little cuckoo. Hanging out with my mom friends is difficult. You gotta go with them to pick up the kid from school. Like, I didn't sign up for this. I never was friends with a woman that had children, at least not on a deep level. I mean, the women that I was friends with that had children, honestly, they would just have their family. Like, they had a decent amount of community. That's what I'll say. They had a decent amount of community. Pretty much every woman that I hung out with that had children, they left him with the father. They left him with the father, and their children would help, or their parents would help. I've never been friends with a woman where like she's done a decent amount of like the things. I don't want to see that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel bad for saying that, but yeah, it's just not for me. It's just not for me. I wish black women from America moved to Canada and Australia. Child, at this point, I look at it like this. You just got to pick your poison. You got to pick your poison geographically at this point. Because the plans, the thing about it is that the plans are global at this point. The plans are global at this point. So I'm at the point where I'm like, you want to know what? Do I have plans to leave? Yeah, I got plans to leave, but also at the same time, it's just kind of like it's gonna be some shit somewhere. It's gonna be some shit I have to decide on what shit I want to sign up for. Honestly. Hmm. Aw, thank you. You're so kind. She said, y'all American black women too beautiful. Australia, these kangaroos be vicious. I would laugh at anyone that think that they were superior because they had kids. I would legit laugh at anyone that thought that they were superior to me because they had kids. I'd be like, "So you think you're superior because you added more responsibility to your life?" I raised a daughter on my own, no financial support, no community. She's brilliant, fiery, Sag Pisces. It can be done. Took a ton of dedication first to myself, to living my values. And it's so few women that are like that. Because like I'm not gonna lie, my mama did great with me. My mama, she killed it. She did great. As you can see, as you can see. Um But most moms are in a predicament where they don't have any community, they don't have enough money, they haven't thought about the situation enough. It's just, yeah. But if someone's gonna try to compete with me over how well they can be a slave to a man and like their children, they're gonna win every time. Because I don't ever want to be known for that. I'm sorry. Like that's just a person we have two different set of values. They value themselves based off of what they can do. I value myself based off of how little I can do. I'm a work smarter, not harder type of person. I'm not a work harder, not smarter type of person. To me, all of that work that you would be doing, fulfilling those roles, in my opinion, it it's usually thankless. And usually for most people, I'm sorry, once most people have children, the children become older, it's like, okay, they're doing the same thing as everyone else's children. Going to college, finding somebody, getting married, having a child. Okay, yay. But I've met my child already. I've already met my child, and my child said, "Girl, I seen how it look out there. I'ma just stay here. I'ma just keep me put here." I already talked to my child, and my child said, "Oh no." I got the nod. I already got the nod from my child, and my child said, "Don't worry about me. I'ma just stay right here. Don't bring me out there. I don't want to go." Trust me. Trust me. My child said, I don't belong there. She believes men were created to be slaves. I believe so too because they act lost without women. Oh, I agree. I agree. And naturally they're submissive. I mean, I'm sorry, what idiot signs up to lose his own life to fight for their country? Like, I'm sorry, I think signing up for war is idiotic. I think getting pregnant, idiotic. Like, no. And your own body doesn't even wanna give birth because your body has to release all of these damn things to try to prevent you from having any pain. Like, your body literally has to, like, fuel all the hormones to, like, make you wanna, like, do all those things. It's not forced. It's not forced. Um, it's not forced. However, they knew what to do because they know that the sector, like, it's a pipeline. It's a pipeline of impoverished people to the military pipeline. Usually people that go to the military don't have any money. So they just exploit the group of people that don't have enough money to go to college or go into a trade or they don't have the connections. Those are the people that tend to go into the military. And men were created for women, but it's in the membership, I believe. Yep. Yeah, and it's just like society wouldn't be the way society wouldn't be the way that it is if it wasn't for the submissiveness of men. Men just was like, "Okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. You told me what to do. Okay, I'll do it." Because society wouldn't look this way if women had rights first. Women would be like, "Huh? Come again? Make that make sense? Let me read through everything." Like a man, he'll just get the paper and just sign the paper, not reading anything. And he's like, "What? I gotta go out here and I gotta put my life on the line and like they might unalive me and I have to unalive somebody else." Yeah, that's what you signed. Exactly. My child's in paradise. My child's in paradise having a ball. I'm jealous of my unborn child. I'm jealous of my unborn child. I'm like, man, ugh. Military pays for your college and house, but you have to do it for psychological warfare. In no community wants they fuck you up mentally. Like, I don't think people understand the process of military. Like, you don't get anything in life for free. Like they don't just say, "Hey, we're going to pay for your college and give you housing. You're going to be able to travel the world." Yeah, the part that they're not leaving out is the fact that they have to do psychological warfare on you to get you in a state of mind to normalize the fact that it's okay to unalive people, especially women and children, and rummage through villages and see people R wording women and children. And then you come back because they don't undo the psychological warfare that they did on you. And then you have to come back to civilization with no support, no help, nothing, no one to help you undo that pattern. They literally just was like, "Okay, we'll give you college and housing to fuck up your mind. And then once we're done using you, you're on your own." And I work in the healthcare system. So I've heard a lot of stories. A lot of stories. They use these men, they use these men for what they need them for, and then toss them back out. And then guess what? In their brain, they're like, "Well, they're coming back with no money. They're coming back all mentally messed up. Perfect. It'll go straight to our pipeline and make us money through having them go to jail." So they really don't care. You said my child is in the 5D dancing, girl. I heard that. I heard that, girl. Hmm. Dang, it keeps going. Hold on. How come? Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm looking for something so that okay, here we go. Now I can share the screen with y'all. All right. That's my no. Now they ruining everything. Play. Oh my god, no. And that's my baby dancing. That's my baby dancing in the 5D, okay? Look at how happy my baby is. Do you think my baby would be able to go outside and keep doing that? Do you think my baby would be able to go outside and do that now and keep doing that? I highly doubt it. Thanks for asking. My health is good. I'm good. I'm good. Everything's fine. Thank you for asking. My child is happy. Okay? Working in healthcare, I've had more women whenever I knew it was listen, I knew it was a scam becoming a mother, especially. So whenever I would have older women that were patients, I would tell them, they asked me, "Do you have children?" I say, "No, I don't have children." They would say, "Good, good." And I was like, every time they would ask me if I had children and I would tell them that I didn't have children, they would congratulate me. They'd be like, "Good." So that's how I knew. That was how I knew. These women were congratulating me for not having children. And I was like, "Okay, it must be it must be something going on." And then not to mention, like, I'll just randomly have flashbacks in my brain of how I would piss my mom off when I was a child. And when you're a child, you don't know any better. Like, as a child, you don't realize how much of an annoyance and a nuisance you are to other people. And a couple of days ago, I was thinking to myself, I was like, what if I was at work right now and I had my child call me while I was at work and they're calling me over something stupid? I would blow the fuck up too. I would blow the fuck up too. I already get annoyed by people just calling me to begin with. Honestly, I already get annoyed just with phone calls alone. So the fact that it would be my own child making a phone call, like going out of their way to call me over some dumb shit, or when children get excited over things that really don't warrant any type of of excitement for the adult human. Watch my dance, mommy. And you got to sit here and be like, yeah, hype them up. My nerves, my nerves are way too fried for me to ever want to do any of that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want no child. I'm sorry. I am too easily annoyed. And no matter how much you love your children are going to be fucking annoying. I'm sorry. You can love your child to death, but that's not going to stop the fact that they are annoying as hell. Like, I remember I see it. Have y'all seen the video of like the teacher? It's a video and there it's a teacher and then a student, this young boy. And it's like a math class and they're talking about division with no remainders. And then the kid does a cartwheel and the teacher didn't see the kid coming with the cartwheel and he kicked the glasses off of that teacher. He kicked the glasses off of that teacher. And you just see the teacher, like, literally that kid's foot went poof, knocked the glasses off. And then the teacher, you had to see he turned his head back and you could just see it on his face, like how you could tell he wanted to knock that kid upside the freaking head, and he couldn't do anything about it because it was a kid. Like, that's the stuff that I'm talking about. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, no awareness, like children have no awareness or anything. And you're the victim. And that's another thing too. Children be hitting their parents. Like, I see those videos of the children and they're just wailing on their parents, and I'm like, see, that would be the day. That would be the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. My cousin says she asked her son, who's 3.5, if he wanted to cuddle with mommy. She said he left the dining room and went in his room and stayed in his room all night. She was hurt. He said, cuddle. He said, I don't want to. These bad pickney are hitting their teachers and even pew-pewing them SMG chow. You said pickney, patois, Jamaican. We got some Jamaican ladies in the house. Kids cussing their parents out, chow. It is just, honestly, it's just so much. Like, it's just so much, because I'm like, society does nothing to make it easier for these children to be raised. You got these children. This is the reason why I say, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a product. I don't want to create a product of the environment being fucked up because I birthed the child and I didn't have the means to keep them in order. And the thing about when you become a parent, this is what's crazy. Crazy. No matter what, no matter if you have a child and your child decides to do something fucked up at 50 years old. Okay, so they've technically been an adult for over 20 years. No matter how old your child gets, if they do something, everyone is still going to look at you. Everyone is still going to look at you as a parent and question your parenting, as if your child hasn't had over 20 years of lived experience outside of you being there, as if they haven't made friends that have influenced them, as if they haven't had life experiences that have changed them. They're still going to look at the parent no matter how old your child is. They could be a great person until one day they're not a great person anymore. And guess what? Guess who they're going to be waiting to point the finger at? They're going to be waiting to point the finger at you. That's another reason why I refuse to have children. Because you have to be 100% responsible. You're expected to be 100% responsible for what a child decides to do, even when they're no longer under your parental supervision. And to me, that's not fair. To me, that's not fair. It's not fair, in my opinion, to put everything on the child's parents, because guess what? Children make friends, children have influences. So at the end of the day, to me, I feel like that's like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that, because once your child gets an influence from other people, your parenting can only go so far anyway. This is why, like, in middle school, like, children become such a problem in middle school, because like they're understanding like social hierarchies, they're understanding cliques, they're understanding social acceptance. And so they understand that what's happening at school, well, now they're at school more than they're at home with you. and the approval that they're getting from people that they spend the most time with is impacting them in a way. So your parenting isn't going to matter because you could say all day to your child, "Oh, ignore them," or "just love yourself," and yada yada yada. You think the children that they go to school with gives a fuck about them loving themselves and ignoring them? No. No, they don't care about that. They still gotta go to school with people that bully them and harass them and do all this stuff, and then you have to cross your fingers and hope that the school administration is gonna take it, seriously. Like, I'm not dealing with any of that stuff. I'm not dealing with any of that stuff. Yeah, and all this technology, that's the thing too. The technology has the children so dopamine addicted. I mean, so dopamine addicted that I feel like children are a lot more, they react a lot quicker now to things because they don't know what it feels like to be bored. They don't know what it feels like to actually go on a pursuit or have to go out on a pursuit. Thank you, general audience. Thank you. They don't know what it's like to go on a pursuit to actually get dopamine. With anyone that's like what, like a millennial and younger, like, yeah, I would say like probably 1995 and younger, you like had to actually go out on a pursuit to get dopamine. You don't have to do that shit now. All you have to do is pick up your phone. You don't really value things as much when it's just rewarded to you so easily with how it is now. Like, my grandmother's a retired school teacher. I'm so glad that she left when she left. I'm so glad she retired when she retired because the stories that she would tell me, because I would say overall, I would say most of the women in my family they come from the education system. I had a cousin and she told me that there was a child's parent that threw a stapler at her. I was like, "Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no." Like, it's already one thing to have a child. It's already another thing to just have a fucked up student that you have to teach. But when you have the parent co-signing the fucked up uckery, I just made up that word. When you have a parent co-signing that, oh God. Do you think it's morally wrong to have kids, especially girls, due to this world being so backwards and dangerous? I don't really base anything off of morals. Like, I don't really base much off morals. So it's not that I think that it's morally wrong, as opposed to me understanding that, like, it's just nonsensical. It's just not logical. Like, morality aside, in my opinion, it's just not logical to have a child. Like, I don't have a child and I see the world for what it is, and, like, I'm not ignorant to what it is and what the life experience is. I don't wanna come back to this, and because I know what I know, and I know that I wouldn't wanna come back to this life, it makes no sense for me to it makes no sense for me to bring a child into a life that I wouldn't wanna come back to. So if I wouldn't wanna come back here again, I don't wanna bring somebody here. I don't. I hate to say it, but most times when you have a child, you're birthing a victim or a predator. Exactly. Perpetrator, victim, that's just how life is gonna be. You're either going to be the predator or you're going to be prey. I mean, that's just how life is going to be. So, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like no matter, cuz I can't stand it when people say, "Well, you be such a good mother." You being a good mother isn't going to change the fact that you're going to have a child that's going to create their own life. They're going to be their own person. They're going to have their own interests. They're going to have their own friend groups. They're going to have their own influences. Me being a good mother is not going to change the fact I'm not birthing a clone of me. I'm birthing a brand new person. So I can't stand it when people are like, oh, well, you be a good mother. A good mother cannot outride society. It can't override what a child is up against in society. I don't have that much control over society. I think when people say good mother, they just mean responsible. Honestly, whenever I hear people say that someone would be a good mother, it just means that you're responsible. And so I kind of feel as though, like, yeah, there's a lot of pride with having children. Like, I can't stand it. I cannot stand it when before people even have children, they're already talking about, I'm going to put my child in this. I'm going to put my child in that. My child's going to become this. Look at these celebrities. Look at these people in power. Name five families. Name five families where a person that's a celebrity, they gave birth to their child and their child has either reached the same level or has ascended the level that their parent was at. That's the reason why they have nepotism, because they know that that shit is not a repetitive thing that could just happen over and over and over. They had to create nepotism because they had to handicap the children of elite people to make sure that they could kind of have like the elitism without having the requirement of having the talent and the grit. So that's why they had to create nepotism, because they understood just because you had the baby doesn't mean that you're having your clone. You're not having your clone. You're having an entirely new type of person. So I can't stand it when people are like, oh, yeah, my son's going to do this or my daughter's going to do this. No, my son or daughter, they're going to try it. And then if they don't like it, they can go do whatever the fuck it is that they want to do. But really, I would say for a lot of people that have children, they just want to create a new person so that way they can project all the things that they didn't get a chance to accomplish onto their children. And then get mad over the fact that their child didn't amount to anything. Why are you giving a baby? Why are you giving someone that didn't ask to be here this playbook, this game plan of things? They didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be here. So who are you to tell them who the fuck that they're supposed to be? That's not your place to do that. You created a whole new person with a whole different identity. You didn't clone yourself. Too many parents think that they had a child and they cloned themselves. You did not clone yourself. And then these are the same parents who get upset when like their children don't want to visit them or they don't want to take care of their children. Well, yeah, you're not letting your children you didn't let your children do any of the things that they wanted to do. Like you want them to fit in like whatever box it is that you want them to fit in. Then they do everything that you say and they realize like, damn, I resent my parents. Like I actually realized that this wasn't what I wanted to do. Or I'm doing something just to gain the approval of my parents. Like, no. Yeah, everyone expects them to be their parents, and it's like, that's not gonna happen. Child, I would be dropping that baby off at the fire station. I would be dropping that child off at the fire station, that's what it's there for. What are some things you'd rather do than have kids, ladies? I'd rather be on the path to become a millionaire. I rather travel the world. Um, I rather like stay active. Um, yeah, there's like a ton of more things that I rather do than to have kids. Shit, I rather count all the strands of hair. I rather count all the strands of hair I got before I have a child. I just honestly, I just don't have the patience to have a child. I'm very, very impatient. I'm very impatient and I'm very pushy. No child would want me to be their parent. I'm looking out for my future. I'm looking out for my unborn child, trust me. Looking out for my unborn child because I don't want to no child would be happy with me being their parent because I know who I am. I know who I am. And like honestly, when I think about the places that I go to and I see children there, it's no offense, it's no tea, it's no shade. I barely want the children there. And it's no tea, it's no shade, but I'm just like someone was mad because I said that like when I go to the mall, like the mall is a really big place for me. Okay. I don't go to the mall often. I don't go to the mall often, but when I see like them pushing a stroller, if they're like toddlers or whatever, I don't care about that. But like specifically when they're in the stroller and I'm like, damn, like they have the stroller, then they have the toddler, then they have another child, and they're all at the mall. I'm just like I can't stand it when I'm like at the mall and like someone's child bumps into me, the child is darting in front of me. I'm almost tripping over the child. Like, I'm sorry. That crap gets on my nerves. That crap gets on my nerves. Like, I have to be so aware and like I got to duck and dodge and make sure that the children don't. I got to make sure that the children don't bump into anything. And I'm over here just like, why are your children at the goddamn mall? It's a lot of people here. Keep these kids in order. I can't stand that crap. And sometimes I be mean mugging the kids. I be like, get away from me. Like, I swear to God, I be trying to put the fear of Jesus in them children, how I look at them when they're acting up. Like, I can't I can't deal with it. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, woosah, woosah. And then I just laugh. I do. I just laugh and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Like, it's fine. They're like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I get it. It's a child. I do. I get it. It's a freaking child. Cause like the thing about it, babies don't bother me. Like babies crying, that does not bother me. Babies crying does not bother me because that is like the highest form of vulnerability that you're ever going to have is as a baby. So And the only way that babies can communicate to us is through crying. So, a screaming, crying baby, that don't bother me. It's like when I see like 8 or 9 or 10-year-olds acting bad, I'm just like, get out of my face. Get out of my face. Please. Like, why didn't you tire these children out before you took them out? Like, oh my God. But I would say like probably like I'd say like 8 years old. That's probably like my limit. I say 8 years old, that's my limit when I'm like, I don't wanna see I don't wanna see these kids acting any old kind of way once they're freaking 8 plus years old. I can't stand that. I'm like, what the freak is going on? Like, what are these children doing at home? Like, I just feel like your children, you should have your children so exhausted from physical activity before you take them out that they won't have any choice but to be quiet. And the thing about it too is that I kind of feel as though, like, with these phones, these children aren't physically active. They have all this pent up energy. They do. They have all of this pent up energy, these children, because they're at home on the phone. And so it's like they don't go to the playground, they don't go outside to play. And so when these kids finally get the opportunity to like go to the mall or go to the restaurant, like when they're any place outside of school and home and they don't do anything else to get like active, they act crazy. They act crazy because they're free. You know what I mean? They're not at home. They're finally free. They're not at school. This is why my mom put me in sports. My mom put me in sports. My mama was like, you're too active. We got to get that energy up out of you. We got to get that energy up out of you and make sure that you don't start looking for things on your own because my mom already knew we should have a society where adults are separate, only adult malls, stores, hobbies, etc. I agree. And someone on my channel got pissed. I said that. They got pissed. I said that. I said, you want to know what? There are adults only vacation resorts for a reason. Because don't nobody want to be on vacation and see a ton of fucking kids. I'm sorry. That's the reason why they created adults only resorts. No one wants to have their open bar, swim up pool, and you got kids splashing in the pool and making all types of fucking noise and screaming and being a nuisance and being annoying. Nobody wants to deal with that. Take those kids to the Nickelodeon resort. Okay, take them kids to the stuff that they have specifically for kids. Cuz like, oh my god, have them get their energy out, please. It would exclude the annoying parents too. Or the parents or like I don't know if y'all ever seen that video before. Y'all ever seen that I don't know if it was a video or a commercial, but there was a man, they were on an airplane and he got a window seat. And I think it was a mother with her child, and she asked the man if if he would switch her daughter because the daughter wanted the window seat. And the man's like, no, I'm not switching. I'm not giving up my window seat for your child to have the window seat. And she was like, how dare you, treat a child that way? And he was like, you should let this be a lesson to your child that like you're not just going to be able to get everything it is that you want simply because you asked for it. Like Giving children everything that they want just because they're children, like, that's not good parenting in my opinion. That's not good parenting in my opinion. Plus, as a parent, you can, I mean, and even Southwest, if they haven't gotten rid of it already, they're going to, but like they'll allow you to pick your seat. It won't be them like doing it for you to pick. If your child wanted a window seat that bad, you should have just went ahead and prepared to pick the window seat. Like, I can't stand that. I can't stand that. Like, I'm sorry. We don't live in a world where like you would have to like expect people to give up concessions just because it's your child. Like, they're gonna have to learn that, like, yeah, like if you want something, you're gonna have to prepare yourself to be able to get the desired outcome, not because somebody gave it to you. He was like, "Hell no, this is my pumpkin." Yeah. There was another post I seen. Tell me what you guys think about this, okay? Tell me what you guys think about this. So, I guess there was a pregnant woman that was on the bus, and she was upset because she asked a man if he would get up and let her sit, and the man pretty much told her, like, "It's not my fault that you got pregnant and you don't have a car. Like, you don't have a form of transportation where you would be able to sit." And he didn't give up his seat. He didn't give up his seat. He was like, "Nope. If you're pregnant, why don't you have a car?" I was like, "Damn." I don't know if this was in like a major city because, like, in New York City, when I see a pregnant woman, I always offer up my seat. And I would see plenty of people offering up their seat. But a lot of the time, the pregnant women that I would see, a lot of them didn't want to sit. Like, a lot of them they did not accept the seats that we would offer them. That's just from my own lived experience. But the women that I would see whenever I would offer them, they would always decline my offer. Yeah, because I don't mind giving my seat up. I don't mind giving my seat up at all, but it's just because I don't give a fuck about standing. To me, it's not that serious. It's not to me, it's really not that serious. I don't care about standing, so that's fine. But yeah, he was like, "You should have made sure that you had a car." I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Damn, okay." Yeah, they have designated seating for pregnant and the elderly and disabled. Exactly. And the thing about it is that, like, we live in a world now where I feel like it's just being more shame and ridiculed around like preferential treatment if you're pregnant and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, there was a guy and he was talking about how we need to that we should be punching old people. He was like, old people need to get punched. And he said that old people need to get punched because he said that they feel as though because they're elderly, they're like entitled to respect no matter how much they disrespect you. And then I seen another video of a woman talking about like how this elderly woman was like harassing her. But I don't really hear that from pregnant women. Like, I don't really hear common stories of, like, pregnant women abusing the fact that they're pregnant to be able to, like, get certain perks. So it's like I personally like I don't know how a woman's life is gonna get changed because she got to sit down because she was pregnant. Like me personally, like I don't see this. I really don't. I really don't see like this crazy perceived benefit of me giving a woman like the seat. Like she gets to sit down. Like she deserves comfort. She's already uncomfortable because she's pregnant. So it's like I don't see how a pregnant woman would be able to like go and like use that. Yeah, like in New York City, the women don't, they don't, because I lived in New York City and they didn't want to sit. They didn't want to sit at all. And the thing that's crazy about it is that like I've had men, I've had men offer me to sit. Like I had one guy, he clearly was like attracted to me and he was like, I'll give up my seat. You can sit here. And I was like, no, thanks. No, thanks. It's something about I don't know. At least for me, it's something about taking anything from a man. It's like, oh, if you offer me this seat and I take the seat, then you're going to want to have a conversation. Then you're going to want to talk to me. Then you're going to want to get my number. Like, it'll just open up a can of worms. Oh my God, there was an elderly man with Alzheimer's who wandered away from home and was beaten to death in my city. That's terrible. They caught the guy. They caught the guy. He had been robbing people all day. That's horrible. Do you know if all embryos look female before 5 to 6 weeks of pregnancy? I mean, technically they all do look female because you can't, at least with ultrasound, you can't see anything. So you don't get your actual gender until you're about 12 weeks, I believe, in utero. And that's when you get the parts to decide what gender you are. With ultrasound, we can rarely see it at 12. We can rarely see it at 12 weeks. Um, but biologically it's by 12 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, no. 5 to 6 weeks, technically everyone looks like a girl because you don't see the appendage to prove that it's a boy. So yeah, 5 to 6 weeks you're a girl still. Everybody's a girl. But yeah, 12 weeks is when you get your what's it called? Let me make sure I tell you all the right word because I'm going way back. Think it's Malarian. Yeah, so I think it's your Malarian ducks or whatever. Like that's when they start to come in at 12 weeks. And then if you get your Malarian ducks at 12 weeks, then that's when you're going to be considered a female when you get your uterus. And then if you don't, then it'll get fused. Your uterus would turn into a penis, and then your ovaries would turn into testicles. And so then that's would make you a boy. Cause yeah, when it's your ovaries are the same thing as the testicles, and then your uterus, your clitoris is the same thing as a penis. So like the skin that boys are born with, like the skin that they rip away, that would have been like your vulva. Like that would have been your lips. So like that's where the extra skin comes from. They're essentially like removing the punani lips from the boy not turning into a woman. And then the penis is just one super large clitoris. That's the reason why when women take testosterone, it's really common in bodybuilding. When women take large amounts of steroids and testosterone in bodybuilding, their clitoris gets enlarged. Like they look like a thumb. Like they literally look like a thumb. Like when they take a lot of them, like the big girls that you see, yeah, they have a mini penis down there because the testosterone is growing their clitoris because yeah, your clitoris is just a mini penis. Yeah, you guys didn't know that? Uh-huh. Yep, I work in ultrasound, so I definitely know everything there is to know about that type of stuff. But yeah, that's the reason why the clitoris has way more nerve endings than the penis does because it's a much smaller I know, it's a much smaller surface area, obviously. It's a much smaller surface area. So when you have when you have a small area of surface and you have that many nerve endings, it's going to be way more sensitive. Thanks for the wild fact. Yeah. Yep. So essentially yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But yeah, your ovaries are their testicles. You see everyone's laughing at punani lips. I want to make sure. I mean, hopefully they don't restrict this live stream because I have said things, but I have to make sure that they don't age restrict because if I talk too much about this stuff, they'll age restrict it. And I want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So yeah, that's why I said punani lips because I don't want to say what it really is, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But y'all, I'm gonna get off of here. I appreciate all of y'all for watching the live stream, especially because I got on a little bit earlier. But if anyone's at work and they have lunch, oh dang, we got a Dusty in here. All right, I'll stay a little bit longer. I will. I'll stay a little bit longer. It's a shortage on good women. I kind of feel like this, man. If you feel like there's a shortage of good women, something's wrong with you. Like men are getting passports. Like you mean you don't went to a different country and you still couldn't find a good woman? Like women are out here getting BBLs, women are out here getting their bodies done. Like women are out here doing a shit ton to like get male attention. Women are out here paying for dating services. Women are out here doing a ton of stuff to like get the attention from men and they still can't find a good woman. Men are over here buying passports and you still can't find a good woman. It's like, bro, yeah. Like women do so much to get attention from men. I'm like never gonna buy that. Like I'm never gonna buy that when men say that there's not enough good women. Never. Women are working day in and day out and like risking themselves. The women in another country are definitely being themselves. The women in another country are definitely being themselves because they don't have enough money to get any of that stuff done. You got to go to another country, go become a passport bro. It's plenty of good women there. They're super traditional. super submissive. Like, why aren't you listening to the other men? This is why the men are going to get passports. Go get you a passport. I promise you, the good woman that you're looking for probably lives in a different country. Just go get a passport. He doesn't have passport money. Because, yeah, it's plenty of women out here. Just go to a different country. You'll find somebody, I promise you. It's even homeless women. Homeless women are themselves. Why can't you go get a homeless woman? A homeless woman is definitely herself. That's the most natural woman you could find. When men say that they want natural women, a homeless woman is natural as hell. She ain't bathed. She hasn't brushed her hair. That's natural as hell. That's as natural as it gets, baby. You say you shouldn't have to go to another country, but you said that there's like no good women, and I just told you that there are. You're just gonna have to go to another country. And you said it's a shortage. It's only a shortage just around here. You didn't say they didn't exist. You just said it was a shortage of good women. Just go to where there's no shortage. Duh. I thought men were simple. I thought men were problem solvers. Why am I the one solving your problem? I thought men were smart and problem solvers. If there's a shortage of good women, all you have to do is just go to where there's no shortage of good women. Duh. Do they type how to decenter men? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, men are supposed to be logical and like super smart. So my thing about it is that like why I told you got to look in another country. Once you look in another country, you'll be fine. All right. Okay. I got him out of here. I got him out of here. I thought men were the prize anyway. I thought men were the prize. So if you're the prize, you shouldn't even have to look. I'm being I'm being sarcastic. I know that they're not submissive. The track record of the women overseas, baby, those women are ruthless. Those women are ruthless. Even they look at the passport bros confused because they're like, because the women over in another country, they're like, those women want to come to America. Let's make that clear. Most of these passport bros, when they're going to a different country, those women want to come to America. So the first thing that these women are thinking is that, okay, we want to go to your country. So how come you are coming to our country to get us when we want to live and go to your country? Because that already doesn't make sense. A lot of people that live overseas, they usually want to come to America. So so the first thing that a lot of these women are thinking is, why you want to come over here when we want to go over there? What the freak is going on? What the freak is wrong with you? So then they're like, okay, cool. Then the men spend all their money, and the women are under the impression that's like, okay, we're coming to America, right? We're coming to America, and then they end up not having enough money to support them, to support the woman, and then the woman's like, I thought I was going to be able to get supported. What's going on? And then the women just leave them high and dry in the dust. She realized She gave a Dusty a chance and then left him in the dust. She left him in the dust right where she found him. Cause yeah, cause I'm hearing less and less of this passport bro talk. Cause I wasn't seeing no headlines or stories in mass of marriages. Honestly, I don't see a ton of Instagram stories talking about these passport bros getting married. I'm seeing headlines about them getting robbed, unalived, and being given STDs. That's all I've been seeing. I haven't been seeing these passport bros get married because they're not going over there to get married. They're like, we are trying to find love and submission. These women they bring want a good life, so they bounce as soon as the money stops coming. Exactly. They're like, yo, I'm trying to bounce to get this visa. I'm trying to get this freaking visa, my green card. I'm trying to come to the United States. And what these men don't realize, once you bring these women over to the United States, you done hand deliver them to a man that's got more money than you. You done hand delivered her to a man that's got way more money than you. She just used you to get over here. Now she like, I'm here. It's time for me to get the real money now that I'm here in the States. It's time for me to level up. Okay. That's what they don't realize. But all right, I'm off here this time. That was funny. That was funny. Who knew I was gonna overstay my live stream because of Dusty hopped in here. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.